If you had to pick a single word for the creatures we're about to meet, it wouldn't be rare, dangerous, or even cute. It would be breathtaking. The kind of beauty that makes you forget to inhale for a second. The kind that stops you mid-scroll and pulls you into a place you've never stood before. Today we're counting down 7 most breathtaking animals on planet Earth. A world tour through mountains of snow, gardens of coral, and midnight oceans where living glass drifts through the dark. These aren't just animals, they're living works of art. Before we begin, a quick note. Breathtaking isn't only about colors or patterns. It can be a perfect silhouette, a movement that looks like dancing, a face painted by evolution with impossible detail. With that in mind, let's start where the air is thin and the world turns silver. 1. The Snow Leopard. Ghost of the high peaks. Imagine a cat that moves like wind. The snow leopard is a whisper over granite, a pale ripple across a cliff face. Its coat, smoke, cream, and charcoal rosettes, doesn't just blend with stone and snow, it belongs there, as if the mountains themselves grew fur. A tail like a velvet rope trails behind it, thick, plush, almost comically long, acting as both counterbalance and blanket when blizzards erase the horizon. Every part of the snow leopard is built for altitude, cavernous nasal passages to warm, thin air, giant paws that spread like snowshoes, and hind legs spring-loaded enough to launch it the length of a small car in a single bound. Breathtaking isn't just the way it looks, it's the silence it carries. You don't see a snow leopard. You notice the world goes still, and then you realize you've been staring at a living ghost. 2. Wilson's Bird of Paradise, a painter's signature, come to life. Deep in the rainforests of New Guinea, sunlight breaks into emeralds and golds, and in that cathedral of green, a tiny masterpiece dances. Wilson's Bird of Paradise looks impossible. A velvet black body edged with fire engine red, a lemon yellow mantle, and a bare turquoise crown so pure it seems backlit from inside. Then there's the tail, 2 delicate wires curling into bright blue question marks. The male cleans a stage of leaves on the forest floor, adjusting each one for the perfect contrast, then performs, wings flared, head gleaming like neon glass, feet tapping a rhythm older than drums. It is color used like language. It's not just beauty, it's choreography, architecture, and design, a bird that turned evolution into art direction. 3. Leafy Sea Dragon, the ocean's floating illusion. If a scrap of seaweed decided to dream, it would dream the leafy sea dragon. A cousin of the seahorse, it drifts along Australia's southern reefs dressed in filigree, dozens of leafy appendages that flutter like ribbons in slow motion. It doesn't swim so much as hover, propelled by tiny transparent fins that vibrate like hummingbird wings. In the wavering light of shallow water, it becomes a living magic trick. One second you swear you're looking at algae, the next you're staring into a pair of calm, observant eyes. Breathtaking here is the illusion. The way form and function collapsed into something so delicate that predators lose interest and viewers lose words. Even its parenting is elegant. Males carry the eggs, a shimmering purple constellation beneath the tail, like a secret galaxy moving with the tide. 4. The Glass Octopus, a lantern made of nothing. Now we sink past sunlight to the twilight zone, where the sea turns cobalt and the pressure squeezes spaceships. And there, floating like a thought, is the glass octopus. Most of its body is transparent, as if carved from a droplet of water. You can see the almond-shaped optic nerves like tiny amber commas, the digestive tract a faint ribbon within a ghost. When its slender arms unfurl, they seem drawn in pencil, only outlines, no color. Breathtaking isn't loud here, it's the opposite. It's restraint. In a world of darkness, the glass octopus chose invisibility as armor, becoming a sculpture of absence. Watching it hover is like watching time slow. No frenzy, no panic, just 8 whispered lines moving through the blue. 5. Blue dragon, Glaucus atlanticus, storm spark on the sea. Back at the surface, where wind shreds whitecaps, a creature no bigger than your thumb sails on its back like a tiny alien ship. The blue dragon nudibranch is electric, cobalt and silver, with finger-like serrata that spread like lightning. It floats upside down using the surface tension as a highway and stores the stinging cells of its prey, the Portuguese man-o-war, concentrating them into a sting even stronger than the original. But it doesn't look dangerous. It looks designed by a fantasy studio. Sunlight turns it metallic, waves flip it like a hologram. It is small, defiant glamour in a violent world, a shard of sky that decided to become an animal. 6. Peacock Mantis Shrimp, the living kaleidoscope. With a punch. If the ocean had a jewel box, the Peacock Mantis Shrimp would be inside, punching its way out. Its shell is lacquered in gasoline rainbow greens, limes, and maroons. Its eyes, perched on periscopes, scan the world with more color channels than any known animal. Breathtaking here is both beauty and physics. Those club-like forelimbs can strike with the acceleration of a bullet, boiling the water in tiny shockwaves called cavitation bubbles. Yet between those detonations, the shrimp just glows, strolling across coral like a wandering brooch. It's hard to decide what stuns you more, the paint job or the power hidden underneath it. 7. Mandarinfish, psychedelic at palm size. As dusk softens the reef, blue turns to cobalt and the coral city begins to sparkle. Out of a crevice slips a creature the size of a matchbook that looks painted with ultraviolet ink. The mandarinfish is covered in swirling labyrinths of neon blue, orange, and chartreuse, as if someone traced a storm with glow sticks. It is one of the few vertebrates whose blue isn't a trick of light. It actually makes blue pigment. During its evening courtship, couples rise together above the coral like tiny fireworks, release a burst of eggs and sperm, and vanish back into the maze. Blink and you'll miss the whole ceremony. But for that one instant, you're watching color made into a ritual. Here's the thing these 7 share. None are giant as. None roar. Their power is subtler. The gasp before words, the little shock of seeing something that looks too specific to be random. The snow leopard's tail curving over snow, the bird of paradise sweeping its dance floor, the sea dragon floating like an idea, glass turned into an octopus, lightning shrunk into a nudibranch, a rainbow with a right hook, a neon lantern where a fish should be. Beauty isn't an accident here. It's a survival strategy, a signal, a disguise, a truth. And there's a second current running beneath all this wonder: fragility. High mountains warm. Reefs bleach. Seagrass beds erode. Animals this breathtaking often live at the edges of altitude, of temperature, of light. To call them breathtaking is to admit they steal our breath. To keep seeing them is to give some back. In protected parks, in marine reserves, even in the small choices we make far from their homes, we return oxygen to the fire that made them possible. So if one of these creatures stunned you, a cat in snow, a dancer in leaves, a dragon made of leaves, a glass lantern, a storm spark, a jeweled boxer, or a palm-sized galaxy, remember the feeling. Wonder is a compass. Follow it and it leads somewhere better, for them and for us. Until next time, this is Nature Crest, where the planet keeps its best surprises and we never get tired of losing our breath.